dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Emily Bennett. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Lee County, Kentucky, where Kentucky State Police are investigating a murder. Investigators say they were called to Long Branch Road just after 5 a.m. this morning. Troopers found one man dead at the scene and say he was stabbed after a fight with another man. Police say Jason Michael Smith is wanted for murder. He is considered armed and dangerous. Anyone with information is asked to call Kentucky State Police Post 7 at 859-623-2404. And this afternoon, Governor Andy Beshear announced 2 new cases of COVID-19 cases here in Kentucky. This brings the total to 20 confirmed cases in the state. The 2 new cases are in Jefferson and Clark counties. Beshear said one of the patients was, quote, in bad shape, unquote. He says they are not likely to recover, but other factors play into that person's condition. Governor Beshear also said he was recently tested for the coronavirus after being at an event where someone was tested positive. He said his results were negative.
Now, people we know are going to test positive, and that's okay. We just have to take the right steps to make sure that they are okay. And they're going to continue to work and do other things through this. And I'm going to be prepared if the case arises to do that as well.
Governor Beshear also stressed social distancing, saying it may not hurt you, but could hurt others. He says he does not want to take the step of closing restaurants and bars as other states have. Now, the coronavirus continues to spread rapidly in the U.S. with more than 3,200 confirmed cases and 62 deaths. Health experts are warning those numbers will go up, but are calling on Americans to keep their distance from each other in order to make sure the numbers don't spike. Nicole Killian has more details from the White House.
Travelers waited for hours in several of the biggest U.S. airports in order to complete medical screening. The screening is taking place in 13 airports for passengers returning from Europe as part of President Trump's travel ban. The UK and Ireland will be added to the list Monday. Dr. Anthony Fauci with the National Institutes of Allergies and Infectious Diseases says he's not recommending a domestic travel ban, at least not yet.
You wouldn't get on a plane.
Right now, there are a number of reasons why I wouldn't get on a plane. Because of my age, I would very seriously think about not doing any travel like that.
President Trump held a conference call with CEOs of grocery chains Sunday afternoon to ask them to do what they can to keep shelves stocked. The president's coronavirus task force announced a new website will soon be available for the public to learn where and when they should get tested. In the meantime, the White House is calling on all Americans to do even more to isolate themselves and prevent the spread of the virus.
Myself personally, I wouldn't go to a restaurant. I just wouldn't, because I don't want to be in a crowded place. I have an important job to do. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm going to be all of a sudden self-isolating for 14 days.
Buffet Fortuna in San Francisco's Chinatown has temporarily closed its doors because people aren't dining out.
It's a really hard time for all the small business now, and I hope the government can help us.
Sunday, the city of Hoboken, New Jersey started restricting restaurants to delivery and takeout only. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Now, yesterday, President Trump declared today a National Day of Prayer. And in Pikeville Bulls Edition neighborhood group, they invited all neighborhoods in Pikeville and Eastern Kentucky to stand together outside their homes at noon today to recite the Lord's Prayer. And along with practicing good hygiene and social distancing, many are using today to use for the power of prayer. WYMT's Katie Cook went to a local church still holding services as they participated in today's holiday.
On Saturday, President Donald Trump took to Twitter declaring Sunday a National Day of Prayer.
As far as him announcing that, I think it's great, because I think what it'll do is it gives the American people something that they can each individually do.
Churches all over the country participating, including this one in Hazard.
We're taking a significant amount of our service to pray for our community, nation, and world.
Saying that during this time, it is a way to provide comfort when we do not know exactly what the future holds.
Everything's kind of suspended, work and just whatever it is, but This is a way for us all to kind of come together.
Taking time out of their usual service to acknowledge those in the center of the coronavirus outbreak.
We really want the community to know that the church is praying for everyone.
And of course, taking the precautionary health measures along the way.
Everything where there's heavy traffic normally, that's getting wiped down.
A day dedicated to prayer, what some people are leaning on the most during this pandemic. In Hazard, Katie Cook, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Summit Community Church plans to continue services for now, but they say they are continuing to assess the safety of their members to decide on whether to have services in the future. Now, while many churches opted for an online worship this morning, some continued as usual. Pastor Tim Searchie at the Allen Baptist Church in Floyd County made the decision due to no reported cases in the area. Searchie says they are taking all the precautions recommended by the CDC.
But we have decided to go on with cautions, not shaking hands, not hugging, using plenty of hand sanitizer and stuff.
Attendance at the Allen Baptist Church was a little lower than usual this morning. Pastor Searchie says he told members if they were feeling ill to stay at home, while warning older members to be cautious. Tonight at 11, hear more from Pastor Searchie. Now, churches across Kentucky are continuing to cancel services amid the coronavirus outbreak, but some are trying to keep going by holding creative ways to worship. David's Fork Baptist Church held its first ever drive-in church service. Pastor Mickey Hyder says he was not pleased when he heard the governor's recommendation to cancel services, so he decided to get creative.
And there was just a couple pieces of equipment that we had to acquire, and we meshed them with some of our own equipment.
Congregation members crowded into the parking lots in their vehicles. Hyder says he will continue to hold Sunday service using the drive-in method for the coming weeks, but he hopes to be back inside the church for Easter Sunday.
Well, it's been kind of a gloomy day for us here, and we'll continue to see those overcast conditions as we head into this evening. If you look out your window or at our WYMT studio camera, you can see those conditions there. Clouds just covering the sky this evening. Similar conditions over into Stonecrest Golf Course right now. I mean, just not the best day to be outside. It's very gloomy and cloudy outside, and temperatures are a little bit chilly as well. I mean, a lot of us are in either those lower 40s or even some of us dropping now into those upper 30s. So definitely getting colder as we head into the evening hours tonight, and we'll really get even colder as we head into the overnight hours, but we warm up by tomorrow. I mean, today we barely got into those 40s, but by tomorrow we'll be getting into those upper 50s for daytime highs, so it'll be a lot warmer than what we saw conditions today, so it'll be nice and warm tomorrow. We will see rain chances though come back in as we head into the afternoon hours tomorrow, and I'll break those down for you here in just a little bit. Emily?
Thank you, Brooke. Now, one man from Kentucky is stuck on a cruise ship after a passenger died. Originally, the person was tested for COVID-19, but thankfully those tests came back negative. Kevin Myers is originally from Harlan, moved to Lexington, and is also a former WYMT reporter. Connor James talked with him earlier.
I just wanted to provide you with an update. As a lot of you know, we've been on a Caribbean cruise.
Sunday afternoon, Kevin Myers posted this video to Facebook.
Got back into Fort Lauderdale this morning.
Stuck on a cruise ship in Florida after the state's governor executed an order keeping people from leaving the ship.
The reason we're in the situation we're in now is because one person on the ship did actually pass away toward the end of the cruise.
Last Sunday, Kevin and his family boarded a cruise ship before coronavirus preparations ramped up.
And this was right before all the coronavirus stuff hit, so we actually made it in right under the line, so to speak, because this is the last cruise for 30 days for all the cruise ships coming out of Fort Lauderdale.
Bringing us to this Sunday, with a death on the ship, officials feared it could possibly be a case of COVID-19.
Yeah, the cruise line's been real good about updating the passengers on current situations.
And with tests out, Myers had been stuck on the ship in Fort Lauderdale. He says the trip itself was beautiful. He also is not too worried after seeing the measures taken on the ship.
The ship itself has had some very stringent sanitary type protocols in terms of hand sanitizer and that kind of thing. and everybody's just worked together to get through it.
Around 4 p.m. Sunday evening, Myers said all the tests did come back negative. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, as of now, Myers is still on the ship, just waiting for final clearance. Now, as COVID-19 concerns rise, people are taking precautions to avoid large groups and self-isolate. But for the homeless population, it's not really possible. The Catholic Action Center is now helping those at high risk. More than 140 beds are filled every night at the Catholic Action Center. Director Ginny Ramsey is working to move people to the Cliffview Retreat Center for the next month, but saying it is not isolation.
Just because they're elderly or disabled does not mean they don't need to be protected. They're the ones who need to be protected the most.
Ramsey says they're hoping to open the Cliffview facility as a drug treatment center in May, but it also depends on how long the COVID-19 concerns last. And the YMCA is all about community, and with the community in need, the several YMCA locations in Lexington are stepping up to help those fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Those facilities closing to provide child care. Megan James has more from Lexington.
This was just a perfect mesh of our mission to support families, particularly during a time of crisis.
The YMCA is all about community, and with a community in need, the YMCA has stepped up to help those fighting the COVID-19 pandemic.
We have closed 3 of our facilities to provide emergency school-age child care for the workers at UK Hospital and St. Joseph Medical. They approached us for assistance during this time, and we were very excited, and our staff's extremely excited to be able to provide that kind of service for these children while their parents have to be at work.
With so many schools closed, it's a necessary service for the children of many medical workers. And the YMCA staff is so thankful for the members who have been supportive of their decision.
I mean, some members are extremely supportive and are giving us high fives all over the place, and some members are a little less supportive because they're disappointed they don't have this outlet during this period, and we understand that. But we know in the long run this is the right thing to do. It's the right thing to keep everybody in the community safe.
In the meantime, members, don't fret.
We'll be back. We'll be back as soon as we can.
In Lexington, Megan James, WKYT.
The YMCA locations closing to provide child care are the CM Gatton Beaumont YMCA, Woodacre Family YMCA in Hamburg, and the North Lexington Family YMCA. Now, yesterday, Churchill Downs announced the Kentucky Derby may be postponed. It's originally scheduled for May 2nd. Trainer Bob Baffert says Churchill Downs is saying they will not run the Derby without people there. So he is hearing it maybe June or September. May of 1945 was the last time the Derby did not fall on the first Saturday in May due to the ongoing Second World War. And the 55th Academy of Country Music Awards Show has now joined the long list of concerts and sporting events postponed or canceled due to the coronavirus. The show was originally scheduled to air live on April 5th. It has now been rescheduled for September. A date and time has not yet been announced. Now, coming up on Mountain News Weekend Edition, high school seniors could be playing for a state title today, but instead back home in Laurel County.
And rain chances return later this week. I'll let you know when those should arrive.